fuck did I have this damn thing before? Wait a minute, here it goes. Let me fix this motherfucker here. Alright. Fuck. So we can't get this thing to fix a little bit. What's a little goddamn crooked? There we go. Right with these goddamn streams. Or camera angles. Alright. Took this thing outside so I could smoke. But we got here. Got some fucking Strohs, man. Nothing fancy. Traditional brewing heritage since 1775. Now I highly doubt this beer was ever made back then, but definitely not. But maybe their brewing heritage goes back that far. 4.6 alcohol. One of my go-tos. I don't know what sound picks up in this goddamn camera here being outside, so this is a new phone. So hey, Shreddy Krueger, what's up, man? Can you hear me all right? Oh man, this is good. Fuck, I haven't had one of these in a while. All right, man. Cheers, man. Good to hear, dude. Loud and clear. Awesome. Yeah. I took, like I said, I was thinking I like to take these outside. I can smoke, but I noticed in the last live stream it picked up. There's like a plane going by. It fucking picked that up. My wife and son are inside playing, so you could probably hear him in there fucking giggling. Yeah, something new I'm doing here. Maybe I'll try to do one of these live things maybe once a week or something. But man, hope everyone's having a good fucking week. I'm finally off work, so like during the summer I'm able to take I got vacation time, so I usually take long weekends in the summertime. So usually I got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. So starting a little early, having a few brews. I think Joawa's going on pretty soon too, probably in like 13 minutes or whatever. I figured I'd do one of these. But anybody out there listening, man, I recently did a video about a giveaway because my fucking channel hit a bunch of and way over subs that I was shooting for, which I'm happy. I was really impressed. I was shooting for 211 subs, and I said, once I get to that, I'll do a fucking giveaway, announce it, and everyone just chime in, and I got a bit of a contest to enter. It's not just something to enter. So yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, it's fucking wild. I started this thing up like a year ago, and it's doing pretty good. For starting from nothing. I was actually opposed to doing the whole social media or YouTube thing. I didn't really want to do it, but my buddy Mike Violate did an interview with me, and people were asking about who the fuck I was. So I thought, what the hell? I thought, I'll give this a shot because people are curious, and I had a bit of a history with music already. Well, the reason why I didn't want to do it was kind of a technophobe. I was very, let me say, old school when it came to doing things. I didn't like when social media and a lot of the technology stuff came out. I was really opposed to it. Hey, what's up, Richard? Man, hey, dude. Good. Glad you're here, dude. Hell yeah. But yeah, it was like the early 2000s. I didn't grow up with a computer. We were kind of actually pretty goddamn poor when I was a kid, so I did things all the old school way. Don't fear take too hard, just be smart about it. Yeah, true. I think I didn't like the world changing, and I didn't want to be a part of it. And part of me is kind of pissed because I was pretty naive, maybe, or just hard headed. I should have been open minded because I should have been doing this shit a long fucking time ago. I think maybe when YouTube started, I should have been investing in this shit and just embracing it rather than trying to do things the old way because all it did was hurt my musical career. Yeah, societal change. Yeah, I hate change, man. I'm like could not get. I'm just stuck in the early 2000s and the 90s, man. I didn't want to fucking break away from any of that. And I grew up with a stepfather who fucking hated the 90s. He never left the 1970s. I kid you not. Like everyone went to CDs. He still had cassettes. Uh, you know, parents were smoking when smoking was not a thing. They intentionally did not like when I was little. They wouldn't go to certain restaurants if you couldn't smoke. Like McDonald's, we didn't go in because you couldn't smoke. But Burger King, you could. So we that type of shit. Yeah, yeah, they were, man. Everything just changed so fast. But yeah, I was kind of just trying to do things the old school way and traditional. So maybe like I said, but I'm glad I did it now. Getting into it now, now or never, I guess. I don't know. But Mike V, a good friend of mine, he couldn't even tell you were old. Well, I'm not that old. I mean, I'm old, but I'm not that old. I mean, I'm pushing 40 in a few more years, but uh, I still remember the 20th century, and I didn't grow up with, like I said, if people that had the internet were rich people, and I didn't grow up around rich people. We're like upper middle class. We weren't even that. We were, poor fucking white trash. Like trailer park type people. Nobody I knew had a fucking internet or a computer or you know. Yeah, so it was like a distant thing. It was a new thing, and only the people, like I said, upper middle class people with money have all the nice gadgets and fucking gadgets, and they were with it, so called. So snooty motherfuckers. So I always took the internet and computers were kind of associated with fucking those type of classes, and I'm kind of a classist in a way, man. I'm like I hate fucking snooty mother. And there's a selective few people that are okay that are upper class, but for the most part, I just can't stand them. But it is still the same way to this day. But that was like yeah, my upbringing didn't really grow up with any of that shit. Everything we had was secondhand too. So all the technology that we had being poor, like it was old, all the old shit. I remember we didn't even have a remote. We had like when I was a kid, we still had when a first VCR still was one you could put a tape in and like close it like a tape deck, and those were out. Those were out of the picture. In like mid '90s. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For me, man, I think born in '65, seen a lot of changes. I bet, yeah. Um, for me, like growing up poor, and then also at one point living in going to an upper middle class school or school surrounded by upper middle class people that had something to do with my classism, and also when I became an adult, a young adult, the economy crashed, and I ended up the only job I could get at the time was cleaning for a fucking country club. So I was cleaning for the rich, and that did not help my perspective of people at all. And I did that job for like 4 years. It was just because I couldn't find anything better. But yeah, that definitely had a huge effect on me and how I see people in classes and shit. So, but not everyone, man. I've got plenty of friends who came from, when I met later on in years, metalhead friends of mine that came from money, and I have mad respect for them because they still. Where I'm going with this is like there's some people out there that do come from good families that make decent money, but also care about their fucking kids and like support the kids, but the kids are also successful because they had support, and I could respect that. That's what if families and parents, if they can, help the kids out. I didn't have any of those opportunities, so but I've met other people with that shit. Don't know if the rich were always shitty, but rich boomers come to mind immediately when I think about what you said. Yeah, I mean, some of them, yeah, definitely. They got theirs, or I worked so hard. I mean, I thought part of it. I was my grandparents. Well, my step grandfather, whatever the fuck. Long story, but anyways, they ended up raising me as when I was a teenager, and they were boomers. And my grandfather was a steel worker, but even steel, the steel mills, he made a lot of good fucking money. But when I became an adult, he's like, dude, you gotta. He didn't say dude, but he's like, hey man, you got to get that overtime, man. You got to do all this. I'm like, they're not giving any fucking overtime at this job, Gramps. It's not the fucking '60s. I can't get out of, because when you got in the mill, you could literally just need a high school diploma, go walk up there, fill out a fucking application. They give you a job, doing whatever. Even started out. He said he started out sweeping the floor, and then they had training programs. They had actual like apprenticeship programs with inside the fucking mill that would take you along, teach you a fucking skilled labor. Grew up in coal miner's house, worked for what we got. Yeah, well, my ancestors, man, actually that they were coal miners from down south, and when the mills opened up here in Northwest Indiana, here in the region, uh, they all came, this was probably back in the '40s, but they all came up here to work in the mills because it was a better life. Um, and the mills are still, well, they're kind of on the back burner now. Fucking, they're like the last working class thing that's left here. But it's impossible to get a fucking job at the mill now because they actually want you to have fucking college courses and shit to work at the mill. And I'm kidding you not, extra bullshit. It's crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, fucking coal miners though, man. Yeah, my ancestors originally came from England. Uh, they were lead coal miners, and that in the 1840s or 50s, I believe, the largest the largest group of people from Britain at that time period came here were coal miners, and I think I believe in like the 1850s, 1860s, because the coal mines were really opening up here, and paid a lot better money than it did in England, so or UK or Britain, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So they came over here and migrated down down south, and like I was saying, steel mills opened up here I think in the 40s and 50s, and word got out across the entire country and people from Mexico because my other ancestors are from Mexico, so you know, they came up here too to get work, and so yeah, just had all different types of people back in the 50s. This whole area would boom because of the steel mills. Not so much anymore. The fucking yuppies, the North Side yuppies from Chicago, they're coming down here to turn this into a fucking vacation home area. Cape Breton mine is the first coal mine in North America. Awesome. No, man, I have respect for that kind of that fucking working class hard work. That's where my family background comes from. So, hey, man, being a metalhead, I mean, that's what it is. It's fucking working class. I kind of always come back from that. Maybe it's my love of Black Sabbath. Those are just working class dudes. And what I love about a band like that, even though they're rich as they are, they're still the same dudes from Birmingham, England. I don't think it ever changed. That's why everyone hated Ozzy so much back in the day because he had like I'm talking in the '80s, and they hated him, but he had money, and people did not want his class of people in mixing. So he fucking that's big part why they fucking hated him, I believe, but just a theory. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean that's kind of where I stand with some of that shit. Fucking yeah, I kind of have a bias with like a lot of those the Norwegian black metal motherfuckers. I mean, some of those so-called Kavolt motherfuckers. I mean, they come from one of the richest countries in Europe, and what were they so upset about? What the fuck? I don't get it. There's plenty of people really suffering, not them motherfuckers. They're just now, of course, I mean, they made some big waves. I think that's kind of cool. But none of that shit would have flown here. Not at all. Not even close. And I mean, it's just the way their system's set up. They're kind of like, I don't know, a bunch of fucking pussies. I think. But whatever. I'll probably piss a lot of people by saying that. No, no, don't get me wrong. I love those fucking bands. Love the attitude. Love what they stand for. See, Middleton stand from. Oh, dude, you would really like. Okay, you're born in '65. Then you're really close to my friend Mike Bogish's age, dude. Yeah. So yeah, you saw it from the beginning, which is cool. I have mad respect for you, man. Peace and cheers, man. Combination of Sabbath and Ozzy. But yeah, dude, that's awesome. Cause yeah, you got to see the entirety, the evolution of it, um, from the new wave British heavy metal to the thrash that was rising up, and also the stuff that was coming out in the '70s, which is cool. And I mean, to be and still be here to see how it is today. I mean, I can only imagine, you know, and even the technology, how much it's fucking changed. Just how we listen to music. That's another thing what I try to do with my channel. I try to promote, like, try to, if you can, listen to physical media as much as possible. And I hate to call it fucking media, but in this time and age, so listen to a fucking CD, because like you get the full, it's the full experience, especially with music on YouTube. I mean, you're not, especially metal. When I'm going with this metal, it was designed to be able to heard loud and clear, on a stereo. Lost a lot of brain cells to Deep Purple. That's awesome. Hell yeah, man. Cool. Fuck yeah. Hmm. Deep Purple is heavy for for the time period, and they still are. If you go to a bowling alley, on a Saturday, and you put Deep Purple, put something off of Machine Head, or actually any of the early records, but Machine Head I really like a lot. Put something off Machine Head on the fucking jukebox, and it'll be the heaviest fucking thing. Everyone will start turning their heads. So I mean, old '70s rock is still heavy compared to like what's on the radio, compared to rap, compared to all the pop shit. So it's still heavy, man. But yeah, I mean, it was this music was made to be played on a fucking stereo. So you probably remember the days when people had listening parties, and they would, if you're outside, they bring their fucking speakers outside and they just crank shit. And, there would be block parties. Back in the day, it was rock music was just it was badass. I think what is it? It is, but the old music is the best ideas were fresh at the time in terms of songwriting. Yeah, definitely. Um, I mean, yeah, everything's kind of been done at this point, and if you try to if you try, see, that's the thing, you can't try, or it's not authentic, and that's what a lot of people I think do. They trying too hard. Some bands, and that's why you get these, I don't know, just crazy proggy. There's only so much you can do. Oh yeah, there's still. I mean, there's definitely still room to try something different, or stand out. Um, my music, I'm not reinventing the fucking wheel, um, but I'm also not trying to copycat either. I'm doing this stuff. What I like, my influences are in my own interpretation of it, my own spin on it. But at the same time, it's not nothing that hasn't been heard or done before. Um, you know, Richard Blackmore and John Lord would drink. Yeah, yeah, they were. They were very inventive. Blackmore, yeah. God damn, and what he was doing with a Strat too, man, a Fender Strat, I find that incredible. Also, he was kind of doing the neoclassical thing a bit too, before and Yngwie picked that up, I think, from Blackmore. I think Yngwie's biggest influence was Blackmore, um, but that's a totally different style, of course. The shred metal stuff, which I like. I like early Yngwie. I think I talked about that a bit on my last live stream. Yeah, but there are some. Yeah, yeah, there are some inventive stuff. Um, I was saying Suffering Hour, I think, is unique, uh, with the dissonant chords and just weird shit that they're doing. Yeah, kids playing on their bikes, old school, playing in the street out here. But yeah, I I've been playing since I picked up the guitar in 2000. Stuff like long riff made, a smaller riff where song structure, still plenty of room for that. Yeah, yep. Oh yeah. There's a lot you can. There's still a lot you can do with music within the styles and influences. I think as far as what I'm saying, like how much more can you? It's made of sweet techniques played in acoustic classical sound, really cool. Yeah. Um. there's still a lot you can do, but as far as like, I don't know, being extreme, I don't really. I think it's finally, it's met its level. I don't know how much faster can you get, or how much, where else could you really take the extremity in the music? It's just there, It's like the volume goes up to 11. It doesn't go any further, which is fine. It is what it is. What I find unique is I mean, rock is a style that's been around for a long fucking time. I mean, even metal. I say this: there's nothing new about metal because it's been around for over a fucking half a century. I often try and think about what would be more extreme nowadays. I don't know. Um, as far as sound, I mean, but like attitude and things like that, I think that's one thing that today what music lacks is there's no personalities. Like what do you saw? Culture of personality per se. I mean, where are the Ozzy Osbournes? Where's the Glenn Bentons? Where where are those type of out crazy people that are, or Jim Morrison? Yeah, compression. That's what I was trying to do with this Ghoulish Grin stuff. I was really trying to not use the least amount of technology if possible. I mean, at least for my demo and the things I was doing, because I did everything with I couldn't find a tape. I wanted to do an 8 track or like a cassette, and I couldn't find any of those. They're expensive and they're just kind of a novelty. So I bought a 8 track CD, digital CD, and I actually did my Ghoulish Grin demo. I recorded all the guitars and bass and vocal tracks, and didn't edit anything, trying to keep everything as raw as possible, actual mics, amps and shit. Um, so I wanted, other than the drum machine, but there goes another thing. I made sure I bought an actual drum machine where program drums now are all with computers. I didn't do any of that, so I wanted to actually program the beats. I think I did a little video on how I did do some of that. It's a pain in the ass, but I enjoyed it at the same time. But as far as the demo goes, I have an actual drummer on that. I hired my old buddy, actually bandmate from Cryptic Fog, and he's a phenomenal drummer. So what I did was I just sent the tracks over to him and told him what I wanted, and had him, lay down some beats for it because he's that good. He didn't really have to do anything else. But I definitely miss playing with like a group of guys in a fucking room, getting together like once or twice a week. I just don't have the ability to do that at the moment. I hope to in the future, um, but it's just difficult trying to get schedules to line up, and especially in my area. I may be close to Chicago, but it's still a bit of a drive, and trying to get together with people on a regular basis. It's not really feasible. Improv jam with the drummer is my favorite thing. Yeah. Well, yeah, just getting together with somebody and jamming and seeing what happens. I mean, that's what I did in the early days of my band, Cryptic Falls. We'd meet like once or twice a week, and what I do is I come up with a few riffs, and then on my own time practicing, and then we'd get together and we'd fuck around with them until we came up with something, and we just keep going and you know bouncing ideas off one another, which is I fucking miss that. But now what I do is I just write by myself, and then I program a beat and just go from there and see what happens, um, which is fun. It's enjoyable. It's another form of expression. I mean, I hope someday I can get together with some people and do it again like the old days. Um, but that's another thing. People in my area, like this area, Northwest Indiana, there's a vast majority of musicians, but they're also very limited to what they can do. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, definitely do that. That'd be cool. If you ever want to check out a cool drum machine, man, get an SR16. That's what I'm using. I got two of them. I actually I had one crash. I bought two because they only hold so much memory. Um, and I was writing songs, but I had so many beats and programmed into it, so many fill-ins and double bass and all kinds of shit. It like it. deleted everything, and the whole system crashed, and I had to start over again because all my blast beats and shit are like I made them myself, and I didn't know how to do that. I had to actually watched a lot of drum videos on how to how to create like how actual drummers on how they do blast beats and shit, and I had to figure that out. It took me like a year to figure the motherfucker out before I was able to actually start writing music. And at first I couldn't do it. I was like, this is impossible. Wrote my own drum software. Used to use FL Studio a lot though. Okay, um, right now, so I stepped up a bit. I'm moving away from the 8 track that I got, and I got some recording software. I downloaded Reaper because it's free, and I bought it's actually outdated, but an old Tascam interface from like 2010. So I've been fucking with that, and that's probably what I'm gonna do. End up recording the guitar tracks with for the new Cryptic or not Cryptic Fog, but the Ghoulish Grin record whenever I get around to doing it. That's what I'm gonna use. But it's still gonna be amps, guitar. You know, it's not gonna be none of that. What do you call those things? Those plugins. I'm not gonna use any of that shit. It's still gonna be my own amps and guitars. And I often find myself just using Audacity out of laziness. Yeah, actually, I think Cryptic Fog we used Audacity um, for some live rehearsal recordings. I'm gonna actually post some of them. We wrote a song and I never that never got released. And what we ended up doing was my old drummer had a computer and it had Audacity on it. So what we did was we hooked up the mic input. We hooked up a mic in our rehearsal space and just recorded one of the songs we had just live. So I'm gonna have to post that song. It's only 1 track, but I got it on CD burned somewhere. I have a little Tascam digital 4 track recorder fixing. Hey man, Rich. I got one of those too. Actually, that's what I use that a lot. I use that a lot though. I got a little pocket recorder for Tascam, dude. The thing works great. Um, fucking when I'm writing or like just jamming, because like these days, back in the day, I used to be able to just jam, come up with a riff and remember it. Now, like after years of these, too many beers, fucking, if I come up with something good, I won't remember it. It'll be gone, just poof like that. So now I just hit record, and I just when I'm doing my jam sessions, I just fucking just jam and let record it, and then go back later, a week later, see if anything sticks out, and then a lot of times I'm like, oh, that riff was cool. Okay, I'll keep that. And sometimes I end up writing a whole song off of something. I use that to record my Helena. Oh yeah, that shit is raw as hell, man. That's some cool. Yeah, I've listened to a bit of that. He did that with a Tascam pocket recorder. Cool. That's really cool, dude. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can even multi-track with that a little bit. I definitely use it for writing. It helps a lot with writing, especially when I'll have some beats programmed and I'm writing a riff and I'm trying to figure out the riff, and I'll just keep hitting record on the Tascam pocket recorder because sometimes I'm not happy. It gives me some insight, and I'm able to go back and you know move shit around, change it. I put a lot of thought into my riffs. Each riff is like, oh man, it's like I write a riff like my fucking life depends on it. I know it may sound a little lame, but I take a lot of pride in perfection in the riffs. I don't know why, but I can't. It takes me forever to be happy with something. And that's why it takes me so long to write music. It's just I'm just not happy with something. It takes a lot of time, but the Tascam recorder really helps. Yeah, I don't like to just write crap, man. I could easily write an album very quickly if I wanted to, but it wouldn't be. It would be just mediocre. And there's a lot of that. And there always have been in underground or extreme music or just music in general. There's a lot of mediocrity, and I may be a good player, but still, to be a good player is one thing, but to be a good creator, to create really good stuff is another, and it's very difficult. It's a long, daunting process, but what I like is the finished product. And a lot of times I'm not happy for it's just I got to do it again, change this beat, change this riff, change that idea. It's like each and John from Incantation mentioned this. uh, you know, when he writes a song, it's like each riff is like a piece of a puzzle, but it's like a jigsaw puzzle. So you got all these riffs, but you gotta like get, you know, for me it could take me a week or two just to write one good riff that I'm satisfied with, and that's for me just changing things and getting it the way I want it, molding it into a certain way. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, it takes a long time to just keep changing something and mold it together until you come up with something you like, and then finally you got that riff, and then you got to come up with something else, and maybe the other thing is like it takes weeks to to get it together, and it doesn't fit with what you're doing there, so it's a process, and two, I mean, I've got I've got a family and work full time, so if I'm able to pick up my if I'm lucky able to pick up my guitar, uh, maybe a few hours a day, a couple times a week, So it's one of those things. That's why it takes so long for me to fucking get some shit together. Now, if I had a band and I had guys I was getting together with, it's a lot easier because you've got other musicians putting their input. Like, no, man, hey Dave, man, chuck, that sounds good. Keep that, chuck that, and then they, play this, this many times, and so it's a lot easier when you got other people to bounce off of. I do miss that. At the same time, like I'm, I'm my own worst critic, but I also enjoy it because well, no one else has a goddamn say so. I get to call the shots. But there's another. It's a double-edged sword because then it's like I don't know if this is good or not. You know, it's my old mates could tell me, this sucks or that's too much. Cause I used to, man. That's another thing. I write shit, so a lot of the stuff that I write now, or even always did before, it's a lot crazier. Like a lot of the Ghoulish Grin riffs were a lot crazier than what they are coming out. And I'm like I realize like this is too off the fucking wall. I gotta kind of dumb this down a bit, simplify it to make more fucking sense because my brain is crazy. Just the way it's like what's going on inside my head. I can't even describe it. But like when it comes to riffs, it's like the most off the wall wacky shit. And that's another thing with me recording. On a pocket recorder is I can go back and listen to it. I'm like, wait, that's too off the fucking wall. Got to bring it down a bit. Make it more. The way I see it is, if you like people like you might too. All depends on the audience size. Eventually, there's a following of it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly though, like this is the first, I think this is the most successful or success I've had doing music since I've been into it. And just this is just from just doing the YouTube stuff. And I'm really like thankful. I'm very appreciative of everybody who's giving me support. 'Cause back in the day, I mean, we were when I was a kid, we were working. I worked my ass off. No kidding. I mean, playing shows every fucking weekend, sometimes twice. Uh, and there's no money in it. But I'm going with this is like I was working like all of us worked. I mean, I was the main one. Like, well, my drummer didn't have a job, so yeah, I don't even think he had a driver's license. I was the only one with a vehicle, so I was I was the one picking all the bandmates up when we go to a show. Well, I'd go to practice, load up all the gear in my vehicle, which was an old Dodge Ram, and we'd drive, a few hours away. We'd drive to Chicago, I'd pick everybody up, load the gear up. We'd go to a fucking show, play, fucking unload the gear. I had to drop everybody back off. I mean, I really worked my ass off when we were doing the Cryptic Fog thing when I was a kid, and it just kind of sucked because it just didn't seem like to be, I couldn't even really get it to take off, and everything's about timing. It's just it is what it is. I think if we could have, my live lineup, if we could have held out just a couple of years, because this 2009 is when I was really doing it, 2010, but 2011, 2012, all these clubs in Chicago started opening up. I'd say it's more about advertising more than well, I tried. I mean, we played as much as possible, word to mouth. Back then, there was, of course, the MySpace shit. So we really tried for that. A lot of it, sometimes it was timing, man. And it seemed like the gigs we would get were fucking deathcore bands, man. It was nothing but fucking shitty deathcore bands. It was really, really hard to get out there, and the labels weren't biting at the time. I think a big part of that was the economy. The recession was pretty bad, and I don't think anyone wanted to take a risk on a new young band, and we were different. No one else was doing what the fuck we were doing. We had that old school sound, but we were epic. We had long songs, and I don't think people could really grasp what we were trying to do. Um, I mean, not to say that we didn't have some success. You know, every time we played a show, people came up to us, they liked us, but I got screwed over by a lot of promoters. You know, they wanted us to pay to play, that type of shit. Uh, and just people not coming out to the gigs. It was pretty brutal. You know, those were some tough times, but I gave it my all, man. Did everything I could, until of course my live lineup just imploded because just people going in different directions with their lives or not having their shit together. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. It was. It was a. I miss it though. I definitely miss playing out live. There's nothing like playing on a stage, even if it was just for two people. And you know, I think the biggest two. I did really two big gigs for me were. I did get to go down to Texas, play this festival called the West Texas Death Fest in Amarillo in March 2010. That was really good because that was the scene. We needed to be around bands like, you know, it was an actual death metal, black metal festival. But I also had to drive like 24. It was like 24 hours, 23 hours down to fucking from Indiana down there. It was pretty rough. We carpooled with another band. I couldn't sleep the whole fucking time. I just was too amped up, and I don't know. It was a good time though. That was a success. Really got to show our shit off to some you know, people that are like minded and love that kind of music. And the other time was Jungle Rot came out here in actually this area, Northwest Indiana, and a bunch of the local bands got together and threw a big show at a venue and got them to come down and play, and you know they paid them, so I got to get on that gig, and that was cool. So yeah, I had some success. It just it was a rough road. But I'm hoping with Ghoulish Grin, uh, I'm Dan and I, the drummer, the guy who played the drums on the demo, him and I are talking about actually if when we finish the album, we get it out. If there's if it seems to be I don't know, opportunities arise, I think we're gonna try to we'll get a bass player and actually get this thing going. Because I figured I could probably, if I'm lucky, if I could practice with him maybe once or twice a month, if we could find like schedule a festival down the road or a show that's like months ahead of time, and give us plenty of time to like practice. Because I can work on the music here. Him and I get together and a bass player, go over shit, you know, once a month, you know, a couple times a month, because we're all tight enough musicians to be able to do that. So I think that's not out of the question. I just have a, you know, long enough time frame that we can get shit together. Because he's also Dan Klein. If you're not familiar with his work, he's the drummer on DFK. He's the drummer on Ghoulish Grin. If you go to Metal Archives, look up his fucking profile or like list of bands. That the guy is an insane drummer and producer. He's also, that's what he does. He does backline, so he works. He does you know, he does sound for big festivals, big venues, like so he does that behind the scenes. But then on top of it, he records bands like on a regular basis. I mean, any given time, he might be working with fucking 10 bands. So that's also another factor. Like, he's one busy motherfucker. So like trying to get with him and make it work, I'd have to definitely have a. Oh hey man, Jaded Hunter's here. Dude, what's up? Glad to see you here, man. Adam Badass bass covers. Hey, fuck yeah, man. We got some people here, man. Fuck yeah, got some more motherfuckers here. Jaded Hunter, man. Cheers, man. My Aussie friend. he's also joined you entered the contest, man. So I got a few people. I think three people so far have entered that for the Ghoulish Grin giveaway, man. So any of you guys interested that are on here, man, go to my last video I did. It's on how to enter the contest. So for I got a giveaway for the subs, man. So just name your 11 favorite bass players or guitar players from grindcore, death metal, or black metal, and you're in it, man. Just fucking comment on that video. Um, I'm gonna do another video, so I'll make more opportunities for people to comment or whatever. But I got a list of the people that entered. So thanks, JD, man. Still got to do a review on that movie, Razorback. Actually didn't finish it. I fell asleep. I was a little smashed at the end of the movie, so I got to finish. I got to rewatch it again. But I really enjoyed it. That movie was a wild ride. Really love that fucking Outback movie. There's a funny scene in there that I liked because so it's an Australian movie, and I've been talking about, like, I've been wanting to try Victoria bitters. I can't get it out here. Of course, they don't import Australian beer, but we still have Foster's. And Foster's, I think you can still get that in uh, you can still get Foster's in Australia, I think. But we get it here. It used to be just a straight up Australian beer. But there's a scene in the movie where this guy's drinking some Foster's and he's watching TV, laughing his ass off, and then the Razorback just takes his whole house and starts dragging it. But he's like sitting there drinking Foster's beers while it's happening. So I laughed my ass off. Badass bass covers, man. I don't know if I've seen you before. I don't know if you commented on my channel or not. I'm not familiar, but if you did, dude, and I don't recognize you, I apologize, man. But thanks for showing up, dude. Pretty cool. Um, Hell yeah. Got me another Stroh's here. I don't know if you guys ever had Stroh's. It's actually a beer from Michigan, but they sell it throughout the Midwest here. It's all good. Yeah, comment. All right, man. Cool, dude. Cool. Well, glad you're here, dude. Hell yeah. I'll have to look you up, man. I'm bad with some of this stuff. Because a lot of you guys have channels too. I'm not always aware, busy. So like when someone comments, I just say, hey man, thanks, because I appreciate it. But I didn't always click on everyone's stuff either, But glad you're all here. Fucking awesome. Let's see what popped up here. Oh, Rick Sandstrom. That's a killer guitar player. He's not in my chat, but like this notification just popped up. He's got a live stream going on. You guys ever seen him play? He's a fucking crazy shred guitar player. Rick Sandstrom, I think is his name. Really good dude. Good stuff. Stroh's. I don't think you can get this in all the states, but it's more of a Michigan beer, but it's through Midwest. Have you ever heard Canadian thrash band Hazard? New band, 3-piece. They're pretty good. I have not. No, I have not. I will look them up. Hazard. I like the name. That's pretty cool. That's a cool name. Perfect name for a thrash band. What kind of thrash are they? I mean, like, what sound of the Bay Area, or like what do you call it? The German sound, or is it like Razor? Because I do like Razor. I like the Shotgun Justice. What the hell is one of their songs? Cutthroat. I fucking love the song Cutthroat. Actually, Razor to me almost has a bit of a death metal vibe to them. A bit. They're a little more aggressive style thrash. Old Razor. I know they're probably pretty typical, but hold up. Shredword. What's up, Shredword? Why does that name sound familiar too? Okay, so we got Freddy Krueger, we got Shredword, and we got badass bass covers. My buddy Jaded Hunter from Australia. Hey, Sean, man, how's the weather out there? This the best thing I can eat. SYL that I ever heard. Wow, I don't think I've heard that one, man. SYL. I don't think I've heard that. No. Then again, you know what? Honestly, though, I've never been a big thrash guy, and not that I don't like thrash or have anything against it. when I was younger, when I was first getting into this, getting into music or getting into metal or heavy stuff, I went from the 70s, the stuff that, the metal from the 70s, Black Sabbath, AC/DC, Alice Cooper, that stuff, which I love that shit. Pissing with rain, man. Yeah, it's been hot as fuck here, man. Humid as fuck. Check out my band's new album, Baron Altar. Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. I knew. Okay, okay. All right, dude. I remember you. Yeah, you did the Angel Corpse cover, dude. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. You guys are doing that Death Doom type stuff. Yeah, awesome, dude. Glad to hear it, man. Fuck yeah. I just dawned on me. Okay, yeah, I remember that. Really good, man. That's actually, you guys are really fucking good. I'll listen to some of that shit. Very good. I'll check that out, though, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I just did a Ghoulish Grin, man. Actually did a demo, three tracks. Actually, one of them was I probably may have already told you. Actually, one of it was an Angel Corpse cover, but it's got live drums on it. This time around, man. We got it out on Fomorian Productions. You can get it there for, it's like $5. I don't actually have many. I don't have any copies like to like sell. Just dropped last month. Fuck yeah, dude. Good for, man. Congrats, man. Awesome. Where is that? Is it on a label? Is it on your guys' Bandcamp? Is it physical media? You guys got CDs or um, how do I purchase it? Is what I'm asking. Oh, cool, man. Cool. I'm glad you digged it, man. Yeah, yeah. Actually last month we just put out the demo too, man. Um, well, not last month, fucking May. Feels like it was like at the end of May I put out the demo, but glad you dig it, man. I'm actually real proud of it how it came out. It was definitely a work in progress. I know not much material, but I those songs are all new stuff that I just came up with, and the cover was kind of a challenge because we did it a lot faster. 300 beats per minute, where I don't know what Angel Corpse did on their original track, but I can tell you what, it's a lot faster. Yeah, we're on Transylvania Recordings, cassette tape only for physical. Okay, okay, cool, man. I'll check it out. Shred going to have a listen now. Okay, Sean, hell yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Hmm. Hey, Shredward, man, you familiar with Suffering Hour? You ever listen to them? I think you might like them because like uh, you guys are doing the. I mean, I know it's you guys. I would consider more Death Doom with a blackened edge to it, but kind of some of your guitar work's very dissonant. Reminds me of that. If you get a chance, check out the first uh, Suffering Hour record from 2017. They're a band from the Midwest. I think they're from Minnesota. They got a few tracks out. Oh, it's Strapping Young Lad, Devin Townsend. Yes, yes, Shredder, man. Definitely check out Suffering Hour. It is some incredible fucking guitar work. It's some crazy, amazing shit. It's very underrated. Not. I only know about them because my first Cryptic Fog album was on Blood Harvest Records, and they're one of the bands. They released an album that year in 2017. Ours came out, and in the reviews, people kind of compared us to them, which were nothing like them, but not in a bad that not mean anything bad, but like they didn't know where to put us in. They're like, oh yeah, if you like the new Suffering Hour, Cryptic Fog's like that, but more like deicide necrophobic, But so yeah. But what the hell was I gonna say next? I lost my train of thought. Hmm. Drink some more beer and it'll come back to me. Hmm. Malthusian? I've never heard of them either. Hey, hey, Paul. Paul from Croods from Kai's here, man. What's up, dude? I'll do one of these. This is my second live stream, man. I think I do one of these fucking things. Oh yeah, yeah. I was messaging the other day a comment on your gear video, and now that I can I'm talking in person. Um, what I was saying on that was, like, all amps have a master volume, of course, and then on the other channel had, or okay, let's say just amps in general, like heavy metal amps, or just, there's a gain stage, and then there's the master volume. So crank up your master volume way up, and then, okay, so keep that up, and then on the channel that you're using, your gain channel, which would be gain channel 2, it has a volume. Adjust the, keep your gain up all the way, or however much gain you like in your riffs, but adjust the volume. Keep that volume as your, like, so your master's up, and then the one on your gain volume, adjust that slowly. I mean, it's going to be loud, so if you put your gain volume up at 3, the master's all the way up to 10, it's gonna crank. But my point with that was, it will push everything. Everything will have so much more headroom and balls to it. It's just something I've noticed over the years, especially jamming with shitty equipment, shitty amps, just things fucking around with the settings. Having limited stuff, you work with what you got. But yeah, like, crank the master volume up. That's what I do with all my amps, and then fucking adjust your other volume. Use that as your level. So that makes sense. Like I said, I'll do a video on that and describe it a little bit more. Okay, cool. Because yeah, if you turn up your master and you only have your master up like the 2 or 3, and then you're on your gain channel and you're cranking the gain channel volume up, you're losing a lot of balls and headroom. So if the master volume's only up to 2, and you're on your gain channel, you're using that, your overdrive, and then you turn it up a little bit, you know, you're losing a lot of balls out of your settings. Angle's a good amp. I think I've recorded with some Angles before. My thing is, I've mainly used Marshalls. Most of them, the first Cryptic Fog was a Marshall JCM Kerry King signature. We didn't use any pedals either. It was just the overdrive on that. And then staring through the veil, we used an old fucking early '90s rectifier. I used with that. And I didn't use an overdrive or nothing. It wasn't until recently, now that I've been actually, I use a Marshall 8100, the Chuck Schuldiner amp. I've been using that because I found one. I got an old friend of mine to sell me one. I got like a half stack for like $650, and I hooked my. I kept hearing that Trey Azagoth use a Rat distortion pedal, so I hooked that up to through the effects loop, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of crazy shit, different tones, and you can do with that. It's insane. But you have an old 81. Yeah, it's, dude, the tone on it, just by itself is amazing. But if you hook any pedal up to the effects loop inside of it, the tones you can get out of that fucking thing are just limitless, and it all depends on what kind of pedal you use. But I've been using a rat pedal to get that kind of. Oh yeah, that is the secret. Yep, Paul. Yep. That, and also turning down the your oh fuck, man, your treble knob on the guitar, because he was kind of going for a Hellhammer sound, or a Celtic Frost sound. Those old Randalls, man, the old solid states rule. I mean, believe it or not, that's what a lot of death metal was recorded on back in the day. Was just old, just solid states. Yep. Fuck yeah, man. I started out with, originally when I first started playing, I just had this cheap 15 watt PV amp that it had a little speaker in the back. And what I ended up doing was I spliced the speaker wires, and I hooked it up to these Sony stereo speakers, and I ended up getting this. I hooked this Ibanez distortion box up to it. I ended up getting a deicide tone out of it, like an early, like if you ever listen to Deicide live, When Satan Lives, it actually was recorded here at the House of Blues here in Chicago. That tone I was able to get with my Ibanez distortion box, and the fucking 15, just a shitty 15 watt PV. But like I said, I unhooked the speaker in the back, and I spliced the wires, and I rigged it up into these two little Sony speakers. Straight to a clean channel. The angle was beastly, not lead tone, but yeah, man, it's all about the rhythm tone. Leads. Leads can just always sound scratchy or whatever the fuck. You can do a lot with I'm not really too picky about lead sound. Um, I'm a big fan of wah wah. I ain't gonna lie. I know a lot of guys are like, "Fuck that, I ain't using a wah wah." But dude, I recommend anybody that likes to play lead or like dive bombs and shit, get a wah wah. It's so much fun, so much fucking fun. And I've used the same wah wah since I was a kid. I have the same wah I bought when I was 17. It's an Ibanez Weeping Demon. Love that fucking thing, man. Have so much fun with that. But I did switch over from. I used to use BC Rich, and there's nothing wrong with BC Rich. I switched over to. I bought a Epiphone, fell in love with it, and then I got some Gibsons, and I just fell in love with them. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Gene does definitely, man. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you gotta use it sparingly, or I don't want to say sparingly. Use it wisely. Um, yeah, there's a lot you can do with a wah wah, but you can't let it do all of it for you. Like an electric guitar, as long as it has 24 frets, nice. Actually, some of mine don't. They only have 22. And if it's cheap, hey, cheap's the way to go sometimes, man. The first Cryptic Fog album was recorded with my cheap $150 Warlock I still have to this day. Yeah, Carrot King can, dude. And I think he uses a Crybaby. I think that's what Gene Palubica uses as well. Now, the Weeping Demon to me is like pretty much like a Crybaby with a little bit more balls to it. It's got a distortion built into it. So, dude, I love Wah Wah, man. And it goes back to one of my idols, fucking Jimi Hendrix, man. I mean, the king of Wah, if you ask me, for that time period. Shit, I barely use anything but the 12th fret. Actually, Paul, a lot of my riffs, some of them start on the 12th fret, man, then they go up all the way up and down. But that's just, I've been playing that way for a long time. I used to really down tune the shit really low. Early Cryptic Fog was drop B, and I know people hate drop tuning, but I had a way of doing it where I created my own chords. Fucking, I used every string on the guitar. I never use a wah. 35 fucking years now. Once, give it a try, man. It never hurts to try something different. Yeah, they're fun, man. They're fun. You can, okay. If you were to use it for an extra layer over some of your stuff, you could use it for like layering or a little bit of texture. You could probably have some fun with it, just for effect. Drop A sharp. Okay, okay, yeah. I okay, dude. I had a Death Doom band. It's on my channel. If you're interested, Shredword. Um, I never finished it, unfortunately, but it's just guitar and drums. I had a vocalist lined up. He he ended up leaving before we finished the recording, so all I got is drums and guitar. But if you look up on my channel, look up Merkstav, and it was a Death Doom down tuned. It was a standard. I tuned it A standard, and I used a for that C standard right now. Oh yeah, Paul, I'm just a half step up above you, dude. Um, oh yeah, I'm using a Behringer pedals and a cheap bass. Hey man, Jaded man, you got a good tone with that. Yeah, yeah, oh yes, yeah. C sharp standard is my tuning that I use. I've been using that for years. Uh, when I was doing Cryptic Fog, I drop tuned to drop B, but some of the songs, a few of the songs, I would tune up the C sharp standard, which I think is just a half step. But when I started Ghoulish Grin, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go full C sharp standard, which I can play in multiple tunings, Yeah, yeah. I haven't dabbled too much with classical guitar. I mean, one time I had a 12 string. I kind of did some fun shit with that. Um, and actually, I tuned it to the C sharp standard. So that was interesting. Um, shit, bump the fucking camera here. All the Kai stuff, first two CDs with D standard. On the third one, I go between C sharp and B standard. That's cool, man. It's cool to switch it up. Sometimes trying something different will can add more, open up some doors. You know, sometimes it's good to switch up a tuning or something and keep ideas fresh. I found that too. I've even thought about tuning a little bit lower, but at the same time, I don't want to because a lot of bands really it's like the low tuning has just almost become like a, I don't know, just a bit excessive with some bands, not all. I mean, I guess if you do it right, there's nothing wrong with that. I even thought about tuning up higher, like trying to do an E flat standard because get that Slayer, the evil Slayer and Morbid Angel tone, you know, because I those you know, believe it or not, a lot of Trey stuff, impressively was the early Morbid Angel stuff was all standard tuning. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, yeah. Beat is tuning is. Here's a tuning. Jaden, I only said that was a bead. I tuned to something called Dad Gad, DADGAD. Try that one. That DADGAD. That's it's almost like I think the Doors tuned to it. I'm a big Doors fan, but it's a drop tuning style. Uh, a lot of blues bands would fucking actually drop tune, believe it or not. Yeah, I the strings that I always like are mediums. I think 1152s is what I usually use it. 1156, somewhere in that. That's just somewhere in between. Um, I did try a lighter gauge, and I went to try to record, and my buddy was like, "No, dude, your guitar keeps coming out of tune. Like you're bending the chords. The shit's winding out." 4610s for E flat. I mean, yeah, that would probably be pretty good for E flat. Um, yeah, but I think I'm in like 1152s or some shit. I don't remember exactly. I do DGDG. I'm a war beast that can use 1046s and go from E down to B without a problem. Hey, Paul, man, you make it work, dude, and that's what you like. Um, and dude, you get a hell of a killer tone with that, especially with the with those fucking pinch harmonics, dude. You could really you dig in really fucking good, especially with the standard bridge right there, man. You get a lot of real fucking. You know how to dig in, man. You know how to do that. A lot of guitar players don't know how to dig in and really get the palm mute shit going, man. They just I can't stand weak palm mutes, man. Can't stand that shit. Gotta dig in that shit. With a 24 watt. I used to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's about where I'm at. 1252s, 1152s. I used to use my favorite string for years, man, was Dean Markley, either the nickel steel or the blue steel, but I can't find them anymore. Like I just like they I don't know if they quit making them. So now I buy Dunlaps. I've been using Dunlap strings because they're pretty close. But my favorite were the nickel steel and the blue steel. I'm kind of ham fisted on my playing. I don't know what that means, but I mean, oh yeah, man, yeah, dude. You know how to dig in, man. I like that. Like I said, a lot of guitar players just don't have that. They don't know how to dig in. They're like afraid of it, or I don't know what the fuck. Just when I was younger, watching Angus Young in a video or like James Hetfield, they were hammering on those fucking strings, man, and that's what I picked up on, you know. Now he used DR. Oh, okay. DR strings are another one that I do like. Yeah, now I just use Dunlaps because I gave up on trying to find Dean Markley's. One time I found a set. It was a damn acoustic set. You know what I noticed though with string sets? It seems like they all come with 7 now automatically. There's automatically 7. Sfarzo and Ernie Ball. I'm not familiar with Sfarzo. Ernie Ball was always a go-to because they were cheaper. Um, they never. The problem I had growing up with Ernie Balls when I'd use them, man, they always snap. They'd never. And when I was younger, I was poor, so like, really poor. It was, I didn't know when I was gonna get another pack of strings, and I remember Ernie Balls would always snap on me. But also, it took me a long time to develop a playing, a technique. So like, when I was younger, I really hammered on them motherfuckers. Um, but strings don't. I don't really have too much problem with strings snapping as much anymore. I was to say, well, am I not playing as much? I don't know, but I used to have strings snap on me on a regular basis. Thankfully, never live though. Never live. It never happened. It happened to my bass player once. That sucked. Especially if you don't have a spare guitar laying around. Starso also makes Dean Markley, same company. They're local to my area in North Bay. Okay. Oh, did they take over Dean Markley? Is that why I don't find Dean Markleys anymore? I'm just curious because I just like I said I stuck with the Ernie Ball or not the blue steel and the nickel steel. Dean Markleys were what I loved, and I don't find them anymore. Okay, well that makes sense. Oh, that's cool, man. That's a way to do it. Yeah, if one snaps on you when you're especially if you got a locking bridge, man, a Floyd or something, that really sucks. I always feared that back when I used one. A couple times I got pretty good at changing the string. I mean, yeah, I mean, especially in that kind of pressure, you'd have to, man. Yeah, like if you have them snap on you, especially being live. I was always my biggest fear that happened, like especially during a song or something, because thankfully I always had my backup guitar with me. Oh, I used to run Dean Markley Blue, but they wear out nickel frets. You know what? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Huh, interesting. That could be why my frets are fucking fucked. I don't know. Well, then again, I don't know if my frets were nickel at all or whatever. Uh, but I've definitely worn down some frets for sure. Yeah, man, fucking. I think I'll probably just stick with Dunlops now because they seem to work. And I use these. They're called wedgie picks. They're 1.0 millimeter. I've been using them for 15, 16 years. I haven't. Any chance I get, I buy them. But they're called stupid name wedgie. But they're these black picks. They got like this grip on them, and they never wear out. And it seems like actually the hell yeah, man, beer 30. Yeah, yeah. I try to start at least 7:30 or a little bit after. My younger years it didn't matter, but I try to be on my best behavior these days. Had too many fun moments, crazy moments. But yeah, man, I love beer. It's my night off, so fuck it. I love to drink. It's midday, got a split, guys. Stay awesome. Have a most excellent day. Cheers, Sean, man. Fuck yeah, dude. I will, and man, I'm gonna do a really cool review for you, man. Just wait. It's gonna be badass, man. Fuck yeah, man. Have a good day, brother. Yeah, yeah, Paul. Yeah, dude, I've got, good. Uh, my oldest guitar, man, I've had for since 2000 and no, I'm not. Of course, I'm a lot younger than you, Paul. But I started playing in 2000, and the guitars I had in my early years, I don't have anymore. But one thing I still do have, my only BC Rich left is my. I bought it when I was 15, so I think I've had it for like 22 years. Uh, Fucking love that guitar. Actually, that's one I still all the dive bombs you hear on the demo. It's just a standard bridge, man. I'm using that motherfucker because I don't have any Floyds anymore. But yeah, and oh yeah, Sherwood, yeah, it does take a time to fucking recover, man. Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I still get the hangovers, but I don't drink to the point where I can't get up the next day and I'm like gotta lay in bed all day, ashamed. But I don't drink hard liquor anymore either. Well, not always, man. I take nips off of a vodka bottle, and usually it never ends well. But I just stick with the beer, man. What kind of beer are you drinking over there? Shred beard or shred word? Sorry, our other buddy on here is a shred beard. We got a good friend, shred beard. A lot of shreds in this in the chats out here, man. A lot of shreds. It's cool. If I was smart, I would have called myself Ghoul Shred or something. Shred Ghoul. Actually, I got some Strohs and I got some old style tonight. I haven't had Strohs in a while. A lot of liquor stores don't carry it, and it's a little pricier, which is weird because it's just another cheap Midwestern beer. Um, but I was craving it. Yeah. I think I'm gonna smoke one more smoke and call it, guys. I just wanted to give these you know one of these lives another chance, and I don't know. It's fun to do something different, switch things up. I'm still gonna do a regular Ghoulish Grin fucking video. Oh, dude, God, hell yeah. She Woman with good taste, man. High Life and Hams, dude. Those are two. I don't drink High Life as much, but dude, I used to drink the shit out of High Life. Oh man, lights out. That used to be High Life. I just still drink it from time to time. It's good. It's cheap, and you can find it fucking anywhere. And Hams is one I drink a lot too. It's the High Life. And I still drink. Yeah, Pabst Blue Ribbon. Dude. I drink that all the time. Yep. Pabst Blue Ribbon that Paul said when he used to drink. That was his beer. So yeah, Pabst is another fucking. You can't go wrong with that for cheap beer. That's a go-to for mine, man. It's got a lot of flavor and bite to it. If I could find. Oh, dude. Oh, you're in California. Yingling, man. Oh yeah, Yingling, dude. Yeah. Uh, they didn't carry it here in Indiana for many many years. They just started about 10 years ago. Started carrying it. Used to. Hell yeah, Paul. Dude, I still abuse it. Oh shit. PBR is good, but man, you drink enough of it, it'll give you a nice hammerhead fucking headache the next day. I still get those too. Not to the point where you can't wake up or get up and do shit, but you're doing it. Your brain feels like it's got water inside of it, man. If you got to do some yard work or something outside, you're fucking sweating your ass off. You start just pouring sweating it all out of you. Yeah, man, it's good shit. Hams, believe it or not, Hams has got a nice hoppy bite to it. Tall boys for 75 cents, dude. Wow. That'd be dangerous for me, man. That cheap now? Fuck. Oh, man. 75 cents. Oh, man, I almost got my lighter to light. Damn it. The Zippo's out of fluid. I'll be right back. If you guys are still here. I gotta get a light. Let's see. Oh, man, people are still here, man. Thanks, guys, for sticking by. Get this little mini lighter. I was irresponsible. I didn't fill my Zippo. Now, when I went into the Dead Dog Fest, man, I was able to. I made sure I refilled that motherfucker because I don't want to go all the way out, 5 hours away and not have a fucking light, especially at a festival. Then again, everyone else had a light though, so I was good to go there. But yeah, man, Yingling's good fucking beer. like I said, they just started carrying that here 10 years ago. And for years, when I was 20, I moved down to the Panhandle of Florida. It was the first time I tried it. And back in those days, I drank a lot of Samuel Adams Boston Lager. Loved it. And someone out there gave me some Yingling because they sold it, distributed a lot of the southern states. And fucking, I tried it and I loved it. I was like, damn, this is like reminds me of a cheaper Boston Lager. And moved back up here. Years, never found it again. Nobody around here even fucking knew what it was. I went to a metal fest out in Ohio. They had a bunch of it out there. So I drank my ass off. Fucking drank a bunch of fucking Yingling when I went out to this festival. This was like in 2012. When I came back home, I thought, you know what? I could drive about 3 hours, get to the border of Ohio. Yeah. So once in a while, I would fucking take a road trip and go get some goddamn Yingling. Text from Vincent Crowley. He said he met my friend who handed him a CD. Oh yeah, you're talking about Mike V, man. Oh yeah, I forgot Mike. Mike handed him that violated demo in a diaper. He was handing those out to everybody. You know, it's funny. Mike and I talked about this like a year ago about going to that fest, and he was talking about doing that. I didn't know if he would or not. And this is before I was like, you know what, man? Maybe I'll have some Ghoulish Grin demos. This is before I even had any Ghoulish Grin stuff actually written or recorded, and like anything in the process. So I was happy about that. But he actually, yeah, Mike did what I did the night before. He got all those little demos ready with a fucking diaper. It's kind of like I think Violate is like kind of like crust punk type stuff. Or I was never a really big punk guy. My don't have anything against punk. I just never got into it. But I love the attitude and what punk was about and where it came from and what if I listened to some early '70s punk, I definitely could get down with it. That's for sure. Like I've heard some like Sex Pistols. Of course that's typical, very typical, but I enjoy it. I couldn't get into it for yeah. I mean, it wasn't it wasn't my thing. I never. I think the thing of it is, well, for me with music was, I went from '70s metal stuff. I got into Metallica and Megadeth, and from there I heard Slayer. And once I heard Slayer and Merciful Fate, I heard that early version of extreme metal, and I just got into that. And I never there was no thrash. I just never really got into thrash because I didn't. Yeah, I went from I guess technically Metallica and Megadeth are thrash, but you hear Slayer and then you hear fucking Merciful Fate and then you hear Sepultura and then you start fucking Deicide and it it just I never had a reason to go back to thrash. I still don't. Um, yeah, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, you got the Slayer and punk at the same time. Yeah, so I mean, everyone's road's a bit different. Um, and I mean that's what's cool about this music. Everyone comes from different, diverse backgrounds or how they got into extreme metal, and uh, where the roots are. Everyone, but there's no wrong or right way. How you got into it. It's just everyone's thing's different. For me, I mean, there's some thrash bands I uh, got into. I mean, I do like Testament. Old Testament's fucking heavy. I mean, they're still got some balls to them. But yeah, oh yeah, you were 9 in 1985. Yeah, dude, that yeah. Paul, you could be my. I look at you. You could be like my older brother, man. You're like that age. I was still listening to Run DMC back then. Hey, man, whatever. I just grew up around rock. My stepdad was big into the stuff from the set. He was an old rocker. So that's what turned me on to music was his collection, and I gravitated towards the heavier stuff that he had. The AC/DC and Sabbath and Ozzy and Zeppelin and shit like that. You know, and it just seemed like it just grabbed me, and then I got into it, and I didn't realize, oh, this is heavy metal. And then heard Metallica and Megadeth, and then someone turned me on to the underground, And thankfully, because like I could have went the other route, because the new metal shit was huge, and when I was coming of age, I mean that was the big thing. Pantera, you know what? People knock Pantera, but Pantera would be a bad starting band because their shit's actually heavy. Um, I mean, Pantera is a good thrash band, if you ask me. The early stuff, Cowboys from Hell, Vulgar Display. Those, I mean, there's some heavy shit on there, especially if that's your starting point. Um, it definitely Pantera compared to a lot of bands that were out in the early '90s. A lot of the mainstream bands. I mean, Pantera blew them away. Even all that new metal shit. Kind of thrash, crossover punk, then '98 discovered death metal and grindcore. Oh yeah, all that. That's the way to go, dude. Like that. Yeah. Yeah. I could definitely see how that would be appealing because people that like this music already are looking for something. You're already looking like it already. You're looking for something heavier, always. I think that's a thing. You're already. I think we're all kind of already on that path, already from the start. Um, Oldies that my parents listened to. Then I heard Master Puppets. Oh yeah, Master Puppets. I got on a cassette originally. I think that was my second Metallica album because I heard, um, believe it or not, the album I started with. I heard a few songs from Metallica back in the day and I liked it, and I didn't know what album to get. And I actually started with the Black album because I was at a record store. I was like, what album should I get? Because I didn't know what to get. I think I was like 10 or 11. So the Black album's a good one. So I started with that. But then my next one was Master of Puppets, and I liked it. I mean, it was definitely a step up, way heavier than the Black album. But then I got Ride the Lightning, and that changed me a lot. I love Ride the Lightning. Um, that might be my favorite old Metallica. I think I have I ended up buying on cassette and CD at the time. The early 2000s, you couldn't really find vinyl. You like Faith No More? I'm never really not really familiar with Faith No More. Um, I know they have some metal in there though, from my understanding. Um, but I couldn't tell you anything about them other than that. Um, the early '90s band, I think, but uh, yeah, I don't know shit about Faith No More. But what's cool is it's always good to go back to what you started with. There's that nostalgia of like when you're young and when you first hear something that grasps you. That's you can't like. There's no other thing. That memory when you first hear something, it's monumental. And for me as a musician, like I'm still trying to get that. I'm always trying to go back to that. That's why like with the music I write, and like I say, I write a riff like my life depends on it. I want to write something monumental, something that like moves me in a fucking way, like I was when I was young. I want to feel like that feeling I got when I first heard Angel of Death or like Lunatic of God's Creation. Like I want to I don't know, feel that again. And that's what I'm chasing. Especially when I write music or when I'm looking for music to listen to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm always chasing that. It's like a surfer trying to chase that fucking wave. That perfect wave. Oh yeah, I mean, like, yeah. If you already were in the death metal, then you hear the old stuff. Yeah, that definitely would be a step down for sure. See, for me, I started with the '70s stuff, and I was able to hear when I heard Merciful Fate. It was like a step up from the '70s. It was much heavier. When I first heard Merciful Fate, it was like a darker, heavier Alice Cooper, Black Sabbath, and then Slayer, of course, was like when I was turned on to that, they told me this is death metal, and I'm like, oh wow, like this is crazier than Metallica and anything else. So, the early blueprints of extreme metal, and then I kind of went from there. But yeah, if you're like already into death metal, and then you skip the early stuff, then yeah, it kind of probably would be hard to go back. I could totally understand that. It's like me with thrash. I skip thrash pretty much altogether, and I just never really been back to it. Don't really have a desire to either, because it really doesn't do nothing for me. You know, it just don't. But not to say that it's bad. That's not what I'm saying. But you guys, you get it. Right. All right, guys. My right wrist all I'm thinking about is this sounds cool. Yeah, Paul. What would your 14-year-old self say, man? I actually took that word of advice, man. Went straight from Metallica death metal. See, yeah, I mean that's kind of how it went for me, man. Although I did get, like I said, I got into the stuff in the '70s first, and it was very still very influenced. Um, but yeah, Paul, definitely, dude. I use that advice, especially now when I'm writing, especially when I get stuck on something. I'm like, Paul's like, what would your 14-year-old self say? And it makes it a little easier. I like that. I try to, I use that a bit, man. Thank you for that, man. I like that. Great word of advice for sure. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off here, but thank you all for fucking joining in and bullshitting with me, man. Fucking good times, man. You all fucking rule. Stay tuned. Plan on doing a Ghoulish Grin video this weekend sometime. So if you all want to, man, fucking enter the Ghoulish Grin giveaway contest. So yeah, fucking cheers, man. Stay tuned, guys. See, jump up here.